Don't forget to mute. Hey guys, hi. It's Monday night and we are back again. And a couple of things. December the 1st. Where'd November go? I don't know, but and I'm still full from a few days ago. I really I don't like Thanksgiving because it just I've been on a diet and I've been trying to lose weight and all this food gets in front of me and it's just like saying I'm on a seafood diet and there it is. Now, wow, that's an excuse, isn't it? See, we have excuses for everything, and that's what the topic's going to be tonight is, a game of excuse, table tennis, where you go bang, 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 bang. You give us an excuse, we're going to give you the solution. Before I go there, I just want to welcome you to what I consider to be the #1 motivational hangout anywhere. And that's what we're all about. Every week we come to you live. Every week we try and bring you value. We try and bring you solutions. We try and bring you ideas that you can take your business, help you with your business, and help you take it to another level, because that's what we're all about. Doesn't matter what business we're in. We happen to be, in all of us, in the Empower Network business, which we totally to us, it's everything. I mean, it's every niche rolled into one. So if you're in a shake company or you're in what other kind of companies, Tupperware companies out there, excuse me, I used a brand name, or you're in makeup or something like that, everything that we do here, you can apply to your business. And you could use our products for your business too. So, but anyways, I do want to welcome you. And one of the things, even though it says on the top of the screen tonight, last week's topic was sometimes you just have to shout thank you, and unfortunately we can't get that to change for us tonight. There's a little bit of a glitch, and we can't get it to change, so we are really going to talk about excuses, and we'll get that fixed up later. It's not a big deal. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And I just want to say we do this for all of you guys, the dreamer, the doer, the entrepreneur, and that would be you. So tonight it's about excuses. And I'm going to talk about too old. I mean, you look at the crew that we've got here and you probably figure, why are you talking about that, Nettie? Because, you're probably the youngest one on the panel. Ha! Get it? Yeah. No, I'm not. It's funny because, one of the things that I want to just say to you and put it out there is, at the age I'm in, at the age I'm at right now, I can say this to all of you out there. Why in the world would you not want to do what you love? You can't give me one good reason why you wouldn't want to do that. But yet, people make up all sorts of excuses. And one of the biggest ones for the baby boomers, and actually, you know what, 40 used to be the new 30, and now 50 is becoming the new 30, and I can see 60 becoming the 30 and the 40. Everybody's taking themselves back and putting themselves into something younger, because people are now getting driven to go after their dreams and go after what they want, their goals in life. It doesn't matter what age you are. So the things, they are a change, and the times are a change, and nothing is really significant to age anymore. And myself, I mean, I always used to, people would say to me, and this, I'd be in my 50s, and people would say, what do you want to be when you grow up? First of all, I don't think I ever wanted to grow up. But second of all, I never knew what I wanted to do. I just knew I hadn't done it yet. And so, people will look at me and they'll write me and they'll send me a private message and they'll say, it all seems so simple to you, Nettie. I mean, I read your blogs or I hear what you say and it all seems so simple. You must be gifted that way. Oh, hell no, I'm not gifted that way. Never was. I led a very simple life, but here, I'll give you the 30-second version of it. When I was born, I was given up. when I was given to my adopted family, I was raised by one of the parents reminding me pretty frequently that, there was a little bit of a wish there that she hadn't gotten me. Oops, I said she, so now you know which one. Got married at 23, had my first child, didn't figure out how that happened, so the next 2 years, 3 years, I had two more, so I had three kids in 4 years. And for the next 12 years, I was busy trying to figure out how the hell to get to Sesame Street because that song was on every day. And for those of you that watch Sesame Street, you'll know what I mean when I say that. How do you get to Sesame Street? Well, yep, that was what we watched all the time, or Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or whatever. Anyways, to make a long story short, after 12 years, I decided to go back into the workforce because I was very blessed to be a stay-home mom. Well, I couldn't even probably put a sentence together. I'm serious. You get programmed to talk little talk. And so I went back into the working world, and I went out there, got, back into it, and eventually down the line, I'm taking longer than 30 seconds with this. Somehow I've gone off the rails here. But anyways, my marriage ended. And then I fell in love with an American, so I gave up my country, my friends, my family, and I moved to the United States. And I worked here. Now, along the way, I dabbled into some network marketing. And I'm not going to say I failed, because to me, there's no such thing as a failure. I did quit. And I now can look back on it and know why I quit. Because at that time, I was pursuing it for all the wrong reasons. All I was looking at was the money. The money, the money, the money. And so every choice I made, whether that was with a shake, whether it was with wine, whether it was with makeup, whether it was with house decorations, my passion wasn't there. I couldn't do it because I didn't have the passion. And unless you don't have that passion there, the odds are pretty good that you're not going to succeed. So here I was, 64 years old, hated my job, used to pull into the parking lot, and literally I would cry. I just didn't want to go in there. I had a great job. I was very well paid. I just had a very unappreciative boss, in my opinion, but I enabled that. Okay, I got to stop making excuses for everything that happened in my world and in my life. So you've heard the story. 7-second video. I saw the little Kiwi lady that's on the panel, and it was like a flippin' moth to a flame. I've got to hunt her down. What is she talking about? What is she doing? That again, it came into money. Okay, so we finally connected, and I joined Empower Network. And I didn't know at the time that I was joining again for all the wrong reasons, the same as I had done before. And I also thought, God, look at my age here. I got to join something that's simple. I really like, well, let me tell you, telling somebody to buy a shake is a lot easier than what I've gone through. But man, has it been worth it. Oh my Lord. I mean, I never got a college degree. I don't have one single degree on my office wall. I have a PhD in the School of Hard Knocks. That's about it. Well, now I consider what I have a university degree in internet marketing. And I'm so proud of myself. And I love what I do at this age. It's given me a skip to my step. It's put a smile on my face every day. And so for all of you people that are thinking, I'm at this age now where I want to settle, I want to lay back, I just want to enjoy it, I want leisurely time. Why? You're not dead, and you can't be leisure all day. You can't sit. You can't lay on a lounge chair. You can't sit in front of the TV. You will go stark raving mad. if you do that. Don't do that. You have years and years and years of experience to offer up to people out there that need it. I mean, let's give our younger people something that we can. I used to play outside. Kids nowadays, they play outside. I mean, first of all, they don't know how to get themselves out there to play or what to do when they do play, and then look out because some creep's going to come along and kidnap you. It's horrible what the way the world has changed. But the kids are fascinated. When I talk to the grandchildren, they love hearing the stories. But back to this and your age. You know, it's kind of funny because everything I went through in my life, I always had it. I always had it in the back of my head. It didn't matter what I was doing. I always knew that there was something I needed to get out there, that I could be better than this. I had something to give to the world. And I really think everybody's born with that. I really do. I think we put it aside, we put it on a shelf, and you know, when I had my 3 children, I never stopped, not one day, saying to them, you go after your dreams. You don't stop at this. Don't be mundane. Don't be mediocre. Go after your dreams. You know what? I've got 3 kids that have been around the world, backpacked all over the world. And yeah, I did live vicariously through them, but now I'm doing my backpacking. I'm out there and I'm bringing what I want to bring. And I look at them and their lives and I think, thank God I told them to go after their dreams. So all I'm saying is it doesn't matter how old you are. Stop counting the gray hairs in your head and just get out there and give what you've got to give to the world, because all those life experiences, like for myself, I can start with abandonment. When I was given up, I can start with verbal abuse when I heard that. I can start with a mom because I had 3 kids in 4 years. I can go to divorce. I can talk about that. I went into depression after that. I can talk about that. I went into moving to a new country and learning the culture and the rules and the laws and everything else. I got so much to give that I could go on forever. But what I really want to do is be a leader. I want to show other people how to do this. And that's where I finally found my niche, which is, I was always kind of a bossy bitch anyway, so it works out well when I want to tell people that, you know, kind of follow what I'm saying, and hopefully it'll all come together for you like a jigsaw puzzle. But I mean, that's, you know, you have to ask yourself, do you know how old you'll be by the time you decide to chase your dream? And the answer to that is you'll be as old as if you never did chase it. So are you going to look back and say in 10 years and smack yourself and say, with regret, I wished I had gone after it? Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, because I'm older, I can say this. I wished I had gotten started at this so much younger. But the internet wasn't around for one thing. But I could have wrote, you know, and done things like that. But you know what? It came to me at the right time. And all I'm saying to you out there, all you baby boomers or you people over 40, it's the right time. If you're into quilting, if you're into sewing, if you're into writing children's books or something like that, that's what our blog's all about. Doesn't matter what you're in, and that's why I meant when I started this out in the beginning. Doesn't matter what you're in. Just our products and our blog allows you to talk about it. So I'm going to stop there because I could probably go on about this forever and ever, but I hope you got my drift. I hope I resonated with you out there. Don't stop. Don't get tired. Don't get old. Good Lord, we'll have enough time to lay down on the other side of the ground when the day comes. Don't do that. Live for the day. Get out there. Ride a roller coaster. Just live, okay? And put those feelings down down. So if you say, I can't write, I don't know how to write, or I don't know how to do a video, that's the other thing. I just want to make mention. A lot of people say, well, I don't have the time to do a video, or because I'm on my way to work, or I'm in church when I get these ideas and things, and then I forget them. That's what your smartphone's all about. You can press the little button and you can just simply say, remind me to talk about, and then put whatever it is in there. Things are so easy for us, so don't let our age stop us, okay? Okay. I think I'm done, and like I said, I could probably go on and on and on, but I can't, because that's not fair. I want to give everybody else a turn, because we all have stuff to offer here. So, you know, I've got a lot of questions here, and there's the one here, like, just jump in, because again, I've told you all before out there in internet land that we never prepare this. We never know what somebody's going to say. But what about I don't have the time, or I don't have the money? Who is there? Somebody that wants to take that and talk about it for a while?
Sure, I talk about it if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can see you too.
Awesome.
And just, can I just mention to everybody that's watching this tonight, we will have the replay up, but if you're struggling with this, not just yourself, but perhaps you've got somebody that wants to join and they're saying these things to you, write our solutions down, and you can tell them this when you're talking to them. So I'm sorry, Shirley, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. Well, I actually have. I'm gonna answer your questions about having the excuse of no money or no time, but I want to first say a confession. I actually had an excuse about coming to this hangout tonight, and the theme with this hangout about excuses, it's about transparency. It's about being open with your excuses, because denial is how you are never going to overcome your excuses. So the reason I didn't want to come to tonight's hangout, or I thought I had a legitimate excuse, you know, my computer's whistling. I have a surgery, tooth surgery scheduled for tomorrow, and I have a lot of drugs in my system. So I don't really know what's going to fly out of my mouth. So I thought, you know what? I am just not supposed to come here tonight because I just don't feel like it, right? So I decided to anyway. But the excuses that you have coming up in your day-to-day life, you're going to have to decide which one you want to listen to. And sometimes you just got to push through and do it anyway, even if you don't feel like it. Because when I first started doing these hangouts, I got so nervous. I had so much fear of, you know, what am I going to say? I wasn't even on drugs for the other hangouts, but I got nervous about what was going to fly out of my mouth. And all I could cling to is, if I just impact one person with this hangout, each night when I do these hangouts, if I just can touch one person, then I will keep doing them. And little by little, one person by one person would reach out to me, let me know that what I'm saying is worthwhile, and that's how I fought through my excuses. At any time, if you guys can't hear me, just type up. But my basis for this is, you're going to have excuses. You're going to have big excuses. You're going to have little excuses. And you've got to start taking control over those little excuses that are ruling your life so that you can tackle the big ones. So my little excuse of, oh, I don't feel like coming to this hangout, my other little excuses of, oh, I don't want to work out, or I don't want to work my business today, I just don't feel like it, those are the kind of little excuses that I must attack. Because then, when the big excuses come, then I have the strength and the character already built to tackle them and to not listen to those excuses. So two of the biggest excuses in my life have been not having money and not having time. When I first got started with my blogging business, and Erica will remember this because I asked her advice about it, I was working 2 jobs. I was working from 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and I only had 1 to 2 hours in the afternoon to build my business. I felt ashamed. I felt like I was going to lose no matter what, because not only didn't I know how to turn on my computer or know what Facebook was, I just didn't have the time, and I legitimately felt like I would have an excuse to not make this work, and I let myself off with that. The other excuse I had was the money. I started my first business when I was on welfare. I flew across the country to go to events when I didn't have the money. But I found the money because I understood that there were people out there like me. I surrounded myself with people who overcame their excuses. See, here's the thing. You can surround yourself with people who give in to their excuses or who overcome their excuses. And I knew that if people could succeed, if they were homeless, and they could succeed, facing overwhelming odds just the same as me, then I knew that I really had no excuse. So I was reading a book. I'm going to sum it up with this about excuses, and I'm going to pass it back over to Nettie. But I was reading this morning Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, and I think it really applies very well to excuses. I'm just going to read part of it off. When you want to overcome your excuses, you need to understand that excuses are rooted in emotion. So that means that even though logically it makes sense that if I love what I do, why the heck am I procrastinating in my business? Or if I love what I do, why am I not doing it? Right? That makes no sense. Of course, logically, your excuses make no sense. What you have to understand is that excuses are rooted in emotion. And when the subconscious mind has to choose between that deeply rooted emotion and logic, the emotions will almost always win. And that's why people give in to their excuses. They just don't know any better. They just go with their feelings, and their feelings will always win. Their excuses will always win. So what you have to do to overcome your excuses is to not fight it with logic, because you won't overcome your excuses that way. You must overcome your excuses with the emotion, and that means going back to the root cause of what is causing that excuse to come up in the first place. If you don't like the results you're getting, you can't change your results by just trying to change your results. You've got to change your results by going to the root of the problem, of why you're having that excuse in the first place. So it starts with, T. Harv Eker says, it starts with awareness. So that's what we're doing here tonight. We're bringing our excuses out into the open. We're becoming aware of what they are. We're sharing them. We're bringing it to the light. We're not in denial, right? Because you can't change something unless you know it exists. The next one is understanding, right? So you go back to your past, of where that excuse originated from, where your way of thinking originated from, and you recognize that it came from somewhere outside of you. It's not necessarily who you are. Your excuse isn't who you are. It's just an old belief that has served you in the past that doesn't need to serve you right now. Then, the next step is disassociation. So once you realize this isn't you anymore, you can separate yourself from what it is based on where you want to be. So when you're thinking of overcoming your excuses, you've got to be thinking of where you want to go and why you want to overcome this excuse. It's what we do every day in our business. We think about why we're doing this. That's what gets us to overcome our excuses, get off the couch, stop eating the chips, and go to work. Because we have people to inspire and we have a vision to fulfill. The last one is reconditioning. This is where you phase out the old thinking, the old excuses, the old mindsets that don't serve you anymore, and you phase in the habits and the mindsets of the people that you want to be like. So you look at the lifestyles, the people you want, and you just phase it in. So you do that by reading, by listening to these hangouts. As Nettie says, they're the top motivational hangouts of the year, of all time. I don't know. That's what you got to do. So I just wanted to address, I know T.J. Harbecker he said this is kind of a past conditioning, but I call past conditioning and excuses the same thing. Because that's where your excuses originate from your past. So you've got to get back there, you've got to deal with them, and you've got to decide if where you want to go is more important, or if staying where you are and not working through your excuses is more important. Which one? And that'll give you the strength to go back to your past, deal with it, and go for it. So that's all I have, Nettie. I'm going to shut my mic off so I can stop howling. My computer can stop howling. And if you have any more questions, just let me know.
Thanks, Shirley May. One of the things that you talked about, and I just want to reiterate that, you said when you got into this business that you were working from, I think you said 6 in the morning till 10 at night. And, you know, come on, people out there that say I don't have time. This is just what I want to say to you. I understand. I get it that you know, you go to work for 8 hours and you got to sleep for 8 hours. So that just leaves another 8 hours, and you really do want to come down. But this is what you love to do. The job, you don't love the job. So try and do a little bit, just a little bit every day at something that you love to do. And eventually, you're going to give it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until the point comes where you can walk away from the job, which is just over broke, okay? So give it that little bit of extra time. Did you want to add anything to that, Shirley, when you...
Yeah, I had another tip for people who don't think they have time, is throughout the day when you're doing that job you hate or whatever else you're doing that you don't like that you're doing, fill your mind with what are you going to do when you do have that 1 to 2 hours off. So I would get so excited all day long at my job. I would be so inspired so that the few hours I did have to work in my business that it wasn't very long, I filled them to the max because I had built up so much energy and passion and excitement at having these few hours to do what I loved. And I think if you don't have much time, you need to do that because you can't be frittering away those few hours if you're not passionate and if you're not, yeah.
So, yeah, that's excellent too. And I just want to add to that, I talked about being too old, but you know, a lot of people will say they're too young. And Shirley is a perfect example that you're not too young. You're 21. And listen to that. She's doing what it takes. 2 jobs and working at it when she can. We have somebody else on our team, and I just want to make mention of her, Tia, a new one from New Zealand. Amazing young lady with 3 children. And if I did the math correctly after I read her story, she should be 20, 21 too. Now, if these people can be raising 3 kids, holding down part-time jobs or full-time job, and running the business, you're never too young. Go after it. Go after it while you can. So, anyways, yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that. All right, I'm doing a lot of talking tonight and not letting you guys talk. So, you know, there's more excuses here, and just jump right out. Whoever would, you know, like to talk a bit about another excuse. I think, Zen, you had mentioned about being techie. You know, that, which is a great one. Like I can't do that. I'm technically challenged. Boy, I could spend the rest of the time talking about that too. But go ahead, Zen.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. First, I wanted to talk about retirement. You know what? I know a lot of people who think that they're looking forward to retirement, and one of the things about retirement, if you are a productive person at all, after 3 weeks of golfing, tennis, swimming, there's going to come a day where 8 hours of that is going to feel old and boring. You want to be working on something. So that's why starting even part-time at this business while you're segueing out of your retirement mode is a fantastic idea, because productive people don't stop being productive. They get bored and then they find a new project. So I'll just end that right there. But you know, time, money, being techie enough, and family, those are all the hit list of excuses. I'm sure there's more, but the techie enough part, you know, I looked at it and I thought, well, you know, I think I have enough computer skills for this. And it's really funny because we often do the learn, do, teach. We've talked about that in other Hangouts where, you know, whatever you learn, you implement it, and then you teach it. Either make a video or write a blog post about it, and yeah, that's what we should do, right? So when I first started, I mean, I'll just bring up lead pages, for instance. I mean, that I went in there and I went, what is this? I don't know how to put links here and there and make whatever it was I was looking to make. Now, today, I made a capture page and I actually started kind of giggling out loud because it took me exactly 8 minutes. And I thought, wow, you know what? Every single time that you incrementally learn something, you just put it away in your, you know, I call it my archives. And you just pull out the drawer and keep adding stuff into that file. So now my tech file is a lot fatter than when I first started. But I used to make excuses for it, like, I'll never be able to get that. That's just, you know, that's over the top. I mean, I'm techie, but not like that. And not like that turned into, yeah, I got that. Now there's something else that's, you know, tripping the trigger. But I try to stay away from excuse making, because what I give it the 95-5% rule. And this is for almost everything in life. 95% of your life could be going just fine. But there's 5%, I don't know, you know, your dog is sick, you're not techie enough, I don't have enough money today. I don't know why I brought up your dog, maybe because I want one so bad. But anything can come up that's 5%, and your focus goes there on that 5%, and it turns into 95%. And that's what happens with excuses. It's 5% of your deal. Once I get going on learning something techie, I'm in. I'm good. But it's when I give it that attention, I go, it's too much. I can't think. You know, oh, it's too hard. I'm giving it 95% instead of the 5% that it deserves. That's all there is to it. And I want to tell you something really funny about if you are lacking time, and I've only used this on 2 occasions because I was struck by inspiration during both those moments. I was driving to see a client, and it's weird because it's not great background driving down the street, but that's often when I get inspired to do things and do videos. But I made a couple of videos right while I was driving. I'm sure police officers pulling up next to me probably wouldn't appreciate that, but I don't care. And they're maybe 2 minutes long at best. And then I use Dragon Dictation app, which takes up to 250 words, and I record, and it transcribes, and I email it at red lights to myself so that when I get home, I can create a blog post out of it. I cut it and paste it, and then I, you know, get in there and maneuver it around and write a little bit more or whatever and save it as a Word doc and make a blog post out of it. Add the video, and there you go. So if you're tight for time, there are ways to get around this. And even making videos, it's really funny because I thought, oh, you know what, I don't want to make a video. My hair looks, you know, I'm having a bad hair day. I don't want to do that. And then the other day I was listening to an Inner Circle audio, and Michelangelo makes me laugh my buns off, but he said, listen, there's a lot of ugly mugs out there. And there's an ugly mug that will recognize your ugly mug and resonate with it. So get your face on the video. And if you stutter, there's a million other stutters that you can inspire by getting on a video and stuttering through it and saying what you have to say, because there's somebody who's going to resonate with what you have to say. So stop with the excuses of, I can't make a video, I'm not good looking enough, I can't speak well enough. Just do it. And sometimes that's what it comes down to with excuses. You have to sit and nicely say to yourself, listen, just do it. Nike came up with that statement and made kabillions because somebody was genius enough in their creative department to say, how about if we just say, just do it? And you know what? Sometimes it comes right down to that. Just do it. Just do it. And the thing is with, you know, I just want to touch on family time, all that, just very quickly. Do I have time? 2 minutes? Is that cool? Okay. You know, my family, maybe I'm blessed, but I have a family who anything I ever take on, people always say to me, you know what, if anybody can do it, you can. So I got that interesting support that they don't even know what I'm doing. They actually know that I'm just on the internet. And they go, well, if anybody can make that happen, you can. And we leave it at that because they really just don't know. And so sometimes I'll shoot them an email and I'll have, a notification that I received, and they'll go, oh, that's cool, good for you, that's awesome. If anybody can do that, you can. Now, if your family doesn't feel that way about you, I want you to tell yourself that. If anybody can do it, you can. So you just overcame that one, so just do it. And the money thing, you know what, listen, I understand that, but I can also tell you this. I have wasted more money on lattes, blouses, pants, and jackets that are in my closet right now. Well, actually, I'm better about it these days, but that I never even took the tags off of, okay? I have wasted all of that money buying, I don't know, skincare, hair products, blah, blah, name it. We all have wasted money that way. So the excuse of money, now, it's not technically an excuse because sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But I'm telling you right now, if you have enough to start and start a blog that matters, and that's what matters, is that term. Start something that matters. And make some videos telling people about why it matters. And you're going to find people out there who resonate with either your ugly mug, your stuttering, or whatever your passion is about that you're videotaping and writing blogs about. And you won't be broke for long, because you'll have people resonating with you. But if you want to stay broke and say, I can't afford, then you're going to stay, I can't afford. Because that's a mentality. And I'm telling you, I think we spoke about this a long time ago, and we touch on it from time to time. The energy that you bring to your party about where you're at and where your financial gain is going to be. And it could be in near future, far future, but it's about you sending out the right energy about where you're going to land out there. Because if you want to be just over broke, you're going to stay just over broke. That's it. Because your energy is contained there. And you haven't expanded your energy to overcome what you currently have, which is your 5%. Focus on the 95% of your life that is going great. Because you're here, you're surviving, you're breathing, you're doing things that matter every day. And you get to just wake up and enjoy the slice every day. So appreciate the 95% and take that 5% that simply is excuses, because they come up all the time. This is our mind. This is our subconscious mind. Sometimes those conditioned thoughts just need to be acknowledged and say, thanks for stopping by. I'm busy right now. And then just do it. And so I'm going to wrap it up with that Nike term, just do it. Because seriously, when you sit down long enough and if you're thinking, and let me just touch on this very quickly. If you're in fear at all, thinking, I can't do this, this isn't, I'm just not. Fear is a polarity. There's fear of failure and there's fear of success. Take a look at what that's about. Because it's either your fear of poverty, and then T. Harv Eker mentions this, and you must master that. You must gain mastery over your fear of poverty. Because the truth is you've made it all your life this far. No matter how poverty-stricken you've ever been, you still are living with a roof over your head and getting food every day, I'm assuming, if you're on this call. And so, focus on the 95% of where you're going and master that fear of poverty. Now I want to talk about fear of success for just 2 seconds. Just do it. Because you know how helpful you could be to other people when you are successful? Even if you don't want the money so much. Help other people change their lives. Just do it. And I'm going to hand it back to you now, Nettie.
Okay. Thanks, Zen. Kicked it out of the park. Yeah, some really good things. And you nailed that when you talked about the fear. Because I think that's what a lot of older people get into, the fear, the insecurity, and the fear of starting over again or being a newbie. It's intimidating for them, but hey, you get past it real quick. So, Sherry, how would you like to come on board and give us a your view on some excuses, please.
I resonated so much with all three of you, and whenever I'm on these hangouts, what's really cool for me is that like I see my story in all of our stories, which is just to say that we're not all that different. You know, anyone that's watching, we can all resonate with these stories because we've all lived pieces of them. And one of the things that I've been noticing for myself lately, there have been twice in my life where I've gone through major life transitions, and I came up with every excuse in the book to not kind of move forward. And, you know, we're talking about the big stressors, right? The loss of a relationship, the loss of a home, the loss of a job, death of a loved one. Like, all of these things happen in addition to all the little stuff. So if we're making all of these excuses for all of the little stuff, how in the world do we get through the big stuff without succumbing to it and not moving forward? And one of the things that I've been looking at for myself recently, it's like, okay, just get honest with yourself, Sherry. Like, get honest and overcome the lies that you've been buying into, that you can't do it, or that you're not good enough, or that you don't have a message, or that you need a partner to do it, or like whatever, you know, those stories are. Like, I just need to let go of the stories. And we all have these stories that we buy into that keep us living small or keep us not choosing to move forward. And part of what I'm doing, you know, I love the way Shirley May talked about, let's just be transparent about where we are, because this is where we are, and you know, where we are can help other people. And one of the things that I'm looking at is I'm basically going through a rebranding process from being in a partnership with the business to being solo with the business. And I have just been planning. I've been getting ready. What the hell? Like, you need to take action. You need to get moving. There is only so much planning you can do. There is only so much thinking about it that you can do. You actually, as Zen said, you just need to do it. You just need to do it. And when we go through these big life transitions, the beauty of this is you can be of service to so many more people, because you've got a wider breadth of experience to then draw from and speak from. I mean, I feel like I've become a master of the life transition, because I've gone through so many life transitions that it's like, okay, where am I lying to myself? Where am I playing small and just not stepping up? Where am I not willing to just do it? And the big key for me was to start asking the questions around, what's this excuse really about? What's really going on with this excuse? Because the truth is, we don't actually do anything that doesn't serve us on some level. So what am I getting out of my excuses? Does it allow me to stay hidden? Does it allow me to play small? Does it allow me to not fail because you don't actually put skin in the game? You don't actually get in the game? You know, what is it for you? I encourage everyone to just start looking at everywhere you're not moving forward, anywhere that you're making excuses. What are you actually getting out of it? I mean, there have been times in my life where I was unwilling to move forward and choose something because I didn't really want to give up my free time. Like, I was just kind of really enjoying my free time. And if I was more successful, more people would want things from me, and I would have to be more available. That was in my private coaching business for a while. That shifted, but for a while it's like, okay, I only want to see this many people, because if I see this many people, then I have to give up too much of my personal life. So it's like, where are you making excuses to not move forward, to not create more? And for those of you, and I know there's those of you who are also in major life transitions, and I get how big that is, and I get how scary that is, and I get how hard that is, and I get how overwhelming it is. But what I encourage you to do is guard your mind like a steel trap. Surround yourself with people who are also going to fill you up with positivity. Don't let the negativity in. Don't allow yourself to dwell on the story, because when we get wrapped up in the story, we get wrapped up in this victimhood kind of place, and that stops us from moving forward in a positive way. And we use that as an excuse too. And let go of the word because. If you hear yourself saying, I can't do that because, you're justifying why you can't do that. And that's a lie. That's not true. So start asking yourself questions that are more empowering. Let me ask you this. Pick your biggest excuse. What would you have to give up to choose something other than that? Would you have to give up being right? Would you have to give up playing small? Would you have to give up being hidden? Would you have to give up comfort because it's going to require you to get out of your comfort zone? It's going to require you to grow. What do you have to give up? And then choose it anyway. Your greatest growth is just walking through those points of fear. And we've talked about this on other Hangouts too. And all that fear is just information that's telling you you're getting close to the edge of your comfort zone. That's it. It's just a signal. And we've been conditioned to think of it as fear. And what if we recondition ourselves to think of it as just information? What if it's just information that says, oh my gosh, you're about to step into the next grandest version of you, the next bigger version of you. And as soon as you step on the other side of that resistance, your whole life can open up, a whole new set of possibilities can open up, and you can soar in ways that you never knew you could. So as Zen says, just do it. Just do it. So back to you, Nettie.
Wow. Thanks, Sherry. I don't even know what to add to that. Man, you just nailed it all over the board. Like, if people had any excuses, I think you just put it out there in very simple language, what to do to get rid of that. And I know it's not easy. Oh, excuses are not easy, but it's always a battle, a struggle. But hey, we can do this. Every single person out there watching this can do this.
Yeah.
So,
I
Eric?
love the words of the Master Yoda. There is do or not do. There is no try. What are you going to do?
Well put. Well put. You just took my ending, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need to talk about these things ahead of time.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. Here. Okay, I have an excuse now for not ending. Erica, talk to us, sweetie.
One minute. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have an excuse not to talk. I have the circle of death going. Trust me, everything that could have gone wrong today as interestingly has turned up. But anyway, it's all good. If I had an excuse, to not, be here, it would be that, hey, these hangouts happen at 3 o'clock in my morning. When the alarm goes off at 2:30 in the morning, I look at it. Sometimes, and I've said this many times, I look at it and go, really, am I going to get up at 2:30 in the morning and do this hangout? And as Shirley said, the answer is always yes. You know why? Because there may be one person I reach with my message tonight. And right now, I've had like 2 hours sleep. It is a national holiday here. I had way too much mulled wine. My head hurts. I'm just tired. To be honest, I would love to be back in bed. But you know what? What I'm about to say may really help someone, because it's something that I struggled with, during the difficult phases of building our business, and it may, be something you're struggling with too. And that's when you don't have family or a spouse supporting you, what you're doing. And that can be the most soul-destroying thing to ever happen to you when you're building a business, because 9 times out of 10, who are you building your business for? 9 times out of 10, it's your spouse, it's your family, the ones who are, it could be, like doubting you and giving you a hard time. They're the ones you're doing it for. So when they look at you and they give you a hard time and they say things like, oh, you know what, it's that business or me. What are you going to do when you're building a business for them? What are you going to do? And no one ever gave me an ultimatum. No one ever said, Erica, it's the business or me. In my situation, and many people know this, it's it's public record. I'm not sharing any dirty laundry no one doesn't know about. But my husband left me. That's a pretty big statement. It's like, damn. And I remember watching him get on the plane, and I remember him walking up the steps to the plane, and I remember this horrible feeling in me kind of said, I wonder if I'll ever see him again. Now, any sane woman would have quit doing the business and would have gone back and done something else, right? Any sane woman would have done that. But here's the thing. I got back to my why. And my why, if you know my story, I had this image of my husband putting on his, tie at work, just like, tightening this thing tighter and tighter until he's nearly strangling himself, thrusting his fist into the cabin ceiling, and just going, I effing hate this shit. Slamming the door on his way out and going to work. And I'm like, well, I don't have many options here, I have to make this shit work. And he and the girls mentioned this. He was dipping into fear. He was dipping into massive amounts of fear, But like Zen said, man, I just had to put my Nike heels on and just do it, because what else was I going to do? And here's the thing. Today was so beautiful. I had to leave the family festivities here and do the team call. And I did it out in the kitchen. And at the end of the team call, when his family were leaving, he came out to me in the kitchen and he said, you're amazing. You've done it. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. See, today is a national day of the Romanians celebrating their freedom. And God, why do I always cry in these bloody things? People died. They died so that the Romanians could be free. They had tanks in the square, and that's where we were celebrating tonight. They had tanks in the square. They had, soldiers killing people. And this is only like in the late 80s. Like, this is like yesterday kind of thing. And they fought and they died for their freedom. And so they'd been watching all the celebrations on TV here, and then he came up to me in the kitchen. And he said, thank you. Thank you for never quitting. And he said, because of you, we're free. So if you have family or a spouse or someone really close to you who's doubting you and giving you a hard time, and they're your why, just dig deep. Dig really, really deep down somewhere where you don't even know you can dig that deep, and just keep going. And it's going to hurt, and it's going to feel like shit, and sometimes you're just going to want to quit. And all of these ladies on this panel, every single one of them, I've seen them get over their excuses. Trust me, I've helped more people off more ledges than I care to remember in the last couple of years. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that God gave me huge shoulders. I'm so glad that he gave me this, I don't know, this country. I think it comes from growing up in bloody New Zealand on a farm. You see a lot of crap growing up on a farm. You see a lot of things die. You see a lot of, you grow up really fast. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so strong, which is probably why I'm here with these beautiful ladies and my team all watching, and those of you I don't even know yet watching. So yeah, getting back to my bit. Hold tight to your why. And if you are building this for your spouse, or you're building it for your family, and things aren't quite working out at the moment, just keep going. You just keep going. Because when you get to the other side and you get to that freedom that you are so desperately working towards, they will forget all of the shit that came before. They'll forget all of the drama. They'll forget all of the the stuff you had to go through to get to where you want to be, because on the other side of everything you might be going through right now is freedom. Everything that you're fighting for right now is just on the other side of your struggle. And how do you deal with it in that moment? I don't know. I think you just have to know why you're doing it and believe that you will be successful. And I think for me, it was that pure hardcore belief I just knew it was going to work. I knew my business was going to work. How could it not work? I had so many other examples all around me of people who'd made it work, you know. So 2 things: hold strong to your why and believe. And like Zen said, just bloody do it, you know. And like Shirley said, every day show up in your business. Every day that you show up in your business, you are one day closer to freedom. I think that's enough for me tonight. Thanks for having me on, Nettie.
We're glad you came. And love the hat, too, by the way.
Thanks. It's my winter hat.
Boom. Gang that's watching us out there, as you can see, we get emotional. We can get silly. We can get really down to the nuts and bolts, the utter truth of it all. And we did that again tonight, every single one of us. And so I hope through all of our words, something that one of us has said to you has helped you get over an excuse, or is helping you get to the point where you're going to get over an excuse. Or if you've got somebody that's wanting to join, now you know what to say to them. If they think it's just a cakewalk or a ride in the park, no, it's not. You come up against every excuse, but don't you do that in a job. Don't you do that? Don't you do that with a mom, being a mom when you got children? Don't you do that as a teenager? Don't you do that as a, with your marriage? I mean, and this is our freedom. This is helping people out there, and you can help them too. Now, and I want to take a moment to mention to you that if you are on the fence out there, oh my gosh, you couldn't pick a better time to start thinking about getting in, because they're coming out with a new blogging platform called Can I buy a vowel, please? Okay, yeah, Kalatu. I mean, Kalatu. There, I need to spell it. So, but I've been privileged. I've been very honored to be a beta tester in it, and I'm going to tell you, it is going to blow the socks, the shoes, the underwear, the shirt, everything right off you when you see it. And I'm actually going to do a little video tomorrow to put out to just show you a couple of things that it can do. But if you think I can't blog, oh yeah, you can, because wait till you see this. I mean, it gives you ideas to blog about, and it helps you, come up with titles, and it helps you where to look for any kind of sayings you want to say. It's incredible. It's a no-brainer. It's wonderful. So if you're thinking about it, now's the time. I encourage you to click the button below that says Get Started. Let's get started, or get back to the person that invited you here tonight. They will help you guide to the join page also. I also want to point out that above, just below the screen where you're watching us, there's, or maybe it's above, I'm not sure. It's, I don't see it. Oh yeah, it's above. Yeah, there's a fax questions and answers there. Please look through that. That will help explain what our team is, our tribe, Total Inspired Living Tribe. We'd love to have you on here. So just click the button, get going. It's like buying a pizza, the cost of a pizza, and your life will never be the same. And if you do have problems or you run into an excuses, we're here to help you over the hump. Like Erica said, drag you in off the edge of the wall or whatever. That's what it's all about, being a team and a family, seeing each other succeed. So anyways, I'm just going to wrap it up tonight, because I don't have an excuse to say anything more. No pun intended. But anyways, y'all have a great week of it, and we're going to see you back again next week. I hope you enjoyed Cyber Monday and Thanksgiving, and please take care of you for us, and we will see you. Love you all. If you're thinking about it, click the button below or get back to the person that invited you here tonight. You won't regret it. Take care. Bye-bye.